As the nation continues to reel under a devastating pandemic, Doon School Old Boys Society has been carrying out a series of charitable drives. They have donated an oxygen plant, oxygen concentrators, PPE kits, and food to those in need. They have also been supplying vital hygiene products to rural India. NewsX proudly recognizes second wave superhero Doon School Old Boys Society and its president Tarun Sawhney.
Hello, welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special segment on NewsX, Second Wave Superheroes. Yes, highlighting the brilliant work done by various organizations in this very challenging time. We have joining us a very special guest, Tarun Sawhney, President, the Doon School Old Boys Society, is live with us. Tarun, welcome to NewsX. Thank you so much for joining us.
Uday, thank you very much for having me.
Let me begin by just asking you a bit about the work, about the good work that the society has done in this very challenging second wave. Tell us a bit about it.
So, Uday, we've really tried to pull out all the stops. It's been a very challenging second wave, very different from the first and initial wave. The virus, as you know, was so terribly virulent. It was very challenging to do frontline work unless you were properly qualified, simply because of the risk that you would put yourself under, and then by its very nature, the risk that you'd put your family members and associates under. Yeah. And therefore, we decided to do multiple things, or things that we could, from the safety of our own environments. First and foremost, I have to tell you that the fraternity, the Doon School Old Boys Fraternity, came together quite beautifully. We had volunteers from across the country and around the world. So we had multiple platforms, and I'd love to tell you a little bit more about all of them. One of the first things that we did is we set up COVID helplines. We set up 5 COVID helplines and in Delhi, Bangalore, Western Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Kolkata. We set them up because there were DOSCOs, as we're called, who were able to utilize their own resources and assist not just members of the fraternity, not just family members of members of the fraternity, but everybody that we knew. So it could be cousins, relatives, a friend, etc., and assist them in getting hospital beds, assist them in getting medicines, assist them in getting access to concentrators, any type of medical healthcare we were able to do. So this was our small part to help the community. We advertised our telephone lines far and wide, and we received a lot of phone calls. And these were all volunteers in these 5 parts of the country. And there was a tremendous amount of good work that was done. Of course, as we speak today, the numbers are much lower, but the lines are still active because there is still help that one can provide to people, sometimes who don't know where to go, right? So that was one, and that was a very active support structure that was created. The second thing that we did is we raised 2 donation platforms. One was the traditional one where we were looking at a variety of different initiatives, and I'll just talk about that in a minute. And the second was an ongoing keto campaign, which is still ongoing. We have just over 3.5 weeks to go. And this keto campaign is, we have a website that's associated with it called doscoimpact.org. I would encourage people to have a look and see the kind of work that is being done by the Doon School Old Boys Society. This campaign has 3.5 weeks to go. We targeted 1.5 crore of rupees, and we have crossed 1.2 crores as we speak right now. And so that's a very positive development. And we've had members of the fraternity there are 4,700 members of the fraternity globally. So we've had people contributing from around the world. And this time round, I have to tell you that, we've used social media to help us raise money. And we've had many people outside of the fraternity, well-wishers of the Doon School Old Boys Society, who have also contributed. So the funds that we've collected, and there've also been large direct anonymous donations that have been given that come directly into our bank account. So that means our total is even higher, and we have multi-pronged initiatives on this basis. And I would love to share some of those details with you. We're working on 3 different platforms. The first one, which is a very large CapEx project, is we've partnered with the Uttarakhand government. The Doon school, as you know, is in the Dehradun Valley.
Yes.
And Uttarakhand, of course, is very near and dear to all members of the fraternity, having spent their formative years in the valley. The rural hospital infrastructure across Uttarakhand, and as with many parts of the country, is fairly poor. And we really jumped to the task. So we're setting up one of the largest oxygen generating plants, and certainly the first one in a government hospital in Uttarakhand.
Wow.
And this should be commissioned there in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So it will be far ahead. There's a lot of work that the private sector is doing, that even the public sector is doing in terms of setting up oxygen plants. I have to tell you that our plant will be one of the first few that's set up. So we set the order that far in advance. We've worked at it. We're monitoring the site and supervising the site, and we should be good to go this month. That's one. And there are 2 other platforms, which is health and nutrition.
Okay.
Health is about providing care and aid to those who have been impacted by COVID, families that have been impacted by COVID, especially below poverty line families. And this initiative has primarily been in Delhi and in Uttarakhand, but the food and nutrition initiative has been across the country. So this time round, what's really been different is we've tried to have a pan-India impact. We're trying to do this work across the nation, and trying to feed hot meals to impacted families, impacted people across our nation. In our small way, trying to give back. There is one other small thing. We've had a large number of members of the fraternity who have donated oxygen concentrators. We've donated about 50 plus to us, and they've donated it to the society because we can monitor where it goes. We can take feedback from the various organizations, and all of these concentrators, as we speak, have now been spread out across the country, primarily into rural sectors, and so trying to help the pain and suffering that's being experienced even in the remotest of areas.
No, very holistic effort, no doubt. Very holistic effort, as you just shared with us, Tarun. And very heartening to know that many members of your community have, of course, come forward to donate. But I have to ask you about others, watching who may be very impressed by what the Doon School Old Boys Society is doing. How can they come forward and help? How can they support?
So, there's no, I have to very candidly, there's no dearth of NGOs. As we've explored our various initiatives, we too have partnered with capable NGOs. A large number of them are being run by members of the Doon School Old Boys Society, DOSCOs. They in there either they do it on a full-time basis or even from a corporate structure through foundations, etc. So we've had, and of course there are a multitude of other NGOs that exist across the country. So to find the right partners, I think is the key question, and it requires a little bit of research. So we have certainly been having conversations because we've raised quite a lot of money. We've been having important conversations with a variety of NGOs to find the answer to that very question. Who to partner with, how to come forward. Because coming forward can be in 2 forms. It can be in terms of kind or cash donations to a foundation that is already doing good work. And the second, of course, is donating time, which is equally valuable. And that too has been very welcoming. There are NGOs, our fraternity as well is very welcoming of people's times to come out and help structure, to help monitor the work that is being done and the funds that are being utilized for the various initiatives.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of time. Last question then to you. What made the society decide to, come forward and help in this pandemic? And is this something that is just limited to the COVID crisis, or is this something that the society has been doing and plans to do in the near future as well?
Well, the Doon School Old Boys Society is a multi-decade long society, and we have come forward at every pandemic or every turbulent situation that has existed across the country. So whether it's been floods or the tsunami, and now with COVID, first wave and second wave, the Doon School Urban Society has always come out and tried to help people in need, collect money and divert it to those particular areas. This is something that has been ongoing, and so it's not something that comes new to us.
Yes.
It is unfortunate that we've been facing increasing numbers of pandemics, and COVID, of course, being the worst of them all, if I may say so. And it's our responsibility. It is our absolute responsibility to be able to contribute and help those who are less fortunate.
Well, great to hear that. And NewsX also salutes you and your effort. Thank you so much for joining us, Tarun Sawhney, wishing you and the society all the very best in the years ahead.
Thank you very much, Uday.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.